You're not going to believe what just surfaced about Meghan Markle. If you thought the drama surrounding her royal exit, bombshell interviews, and headline hijacking pregnancies was the peak of palace chaos, think again. Because this is on another level entirely. Newly leaked footage has emerged, and it's already being dubbed the most disturbing and jaw-dropping royal video ever recorded during a pregnancy. Yes, even more shocking than that infamous Oprah interview where silence spoke louder than words. What's on this tape has left fans gasping, critics scrambling, and even palace insiders reportedly holding emergency meetings behind closed doors. And no, we're not talking about a small scandal. We're talking screaming matches, accusations hurled like grenades, tears streaming in corridors, and a confrontation so volatile that one royal staff member allegedly quit on the spot. According to sources close to the situation, the footage was never meant to see the light of day. It was supposedly recorded during Meghan's second trimester in a secret suite at Kensington Palace, a private moment captured on security cam when tensions reached a boiling point. And when you hear what was said, who walked in, and how Meghan reacted, you'll understand why the firm wanted this buried forever. But somehow, it didn't stay buried. And now the world is watching frame by frame, dissecting every whisper, every tear, every cold glare exchanged between Meghan, Harry, and a mysterious figure that's now at the center of a jaw-dropping royal conspiracy. Just wait until you hear who was allegedly behind the leak and what Meghan did when she found out. Trust us, this isn't the graceful Duchess we saw smiling at charity events or cradling her bump in glossy magazine spreads. This is Meghan-like. You've never seen her before, raw, raging, and completely exposed. What's real? What's scripted? And what secrets from the royal vault are finally unraveling before our eyes? Stay right here, because we're about to break down every second of the Meghan Markle footage that has Buckingham Palace spinning, and it's worse than anything seen in a pregnancy video before. It all began with a seemingly innocent moment, a quiet evening at the Sussexes' temporary residence in Kensington Palace during Meghan's second trimester. The cameras had been installed for security purposes, strictly off limits to the public. But what no one anticipated was that one of those very cameras would capture a fiery, emotionally charged scene that could fracture the fragile peace between Meghan and the royal family once and for all. The video opens with Meghan pacing the floor in her private suite, her expression tense, jaw clenched, visibly pregnant and clearly upset. Her phone was in her hand, screen lit, as she furiously typed out a message before tossing the device onto the bed. The tension in the room is immediately palpable. She's muttering to herself fragments of sentences picked up by the audio. How dare they? And I'm not their puppet. Within seconds, Prince Harry enters the room, visibly concerned. "Meg, you need to breathe," he says softly, trying to approach her. But Meghan spins around, her voice sharp and trembling. Did you know what they were planning?" Harry looks stunned, confused. "What are you talking about?" he asks, but Meghan's not listening. She begins pacing again, holding her belly protectively. "They were going to send me away. Did you know they drafted a plan to ship me off to Canada before the birth? Like I'm some sort of liability, like I'm a threat." Her voice cracks on the last word, and she lets out a sob that's more fury than sadness. Harry's face changes, part sympathy, part shock. "What plan? Who told you this?" Meghan shakes her head and points at the phone. "I got the text from someone inside. They wanted me gone before Archie even came. Charles signed off on it. Camilla knew, and William. He orchestrated it." Now Harry is visibly rattled. "William would never," but Meghan cuts him off. "Don't defend him. He smiled at me at breakfast and stabbed me by lunch." The footage freezes. For a moment, a glitch in the leaked video, but what follows is even more damning. Meghan opens a drawer and pulls out a thin folder. She tosses it onto the bed, and papers spill out. "They thought I wouldn't find out. But I did, and I'm not going anywhere." Not quietly, not this time. Harry sifts through the papers. In disbelief emails, printouts, handwritten notes, his hands tremble. He reads aloud, voice barely above a whisper, alternative post-pregnancy arrangements. Security relocation, media strategy. He looks up at Meghan, who is now wiping away angry tears. This is real. She nods, broken but defiant. I was going to tell you, but I had to be sure first. They think I'm a threat because I won't play the game. Because I don't fit their mold. A long silence follows. Harry sinks onto the edge of the bed, visibly torn between family and wife. That's when the knock comes, soft, deliberate. Meghan freezes. That's her, she whispers. The door creaks open and standing there is Kate Middleton expression. Unreadable, hands clasped in front of her. Can we talk? Meghan's reaction is immediate, shoulders stiffening, eyes narrowing. Now's not the time. But Kate doesn't budge. It has to be now. She steps into the room, closing the door behind her. Harry stands, unsure whether to intervene or walk out. Meghan speaks first. What do you want, Kate? Here to deliver another subtle warning, maybe a backhanded compliment wrapped in a royal bow. Kate's eyes clearly trying to remain composed. I didn't come to argue. I came because I know what you saw, and you're not wrong about some of it. Meghan's eyes flicker with shock and suspicion. Excuse me, Kate's voice lowers. I didn't want to be a part of it. I told them it would backfire. But they didn't listen. They're scared, Meghan. You've changed the rules, and they don't know how to control you. Or him. She gestures to Harry. For a brief moment, there's a flicker of vulnerability in Kate's face, a crack in the perfect Duchess image. Meghan doesn't blink, so why come now? Why not speak up before they try to erase me from the palace entirely? Kate hesitates because I thought it would pass. That you'd leave on your own, that you'd get tired of fighting. But I was wrong. You're not backing down. Meghan nods, lips tight. Damn right, I'm not. Tension hangs like smoke in the room. Three of the most scrutinized people in the world locked in a moment of raw, unscripted truth. Meghan fighting for autonomy. Harry caught in the middle. Kate confessing complicity. Suddenly, Meghan's phone buzzes again. She picks it up, reads the screen, and her face goes white. They're watching us, she whispers. Someone's tapped into this room, this conversation, right now. The camera picks up Harry and Kate exchanging a panicked glance. What do you mean? Harry asks. Meghan holds the phone up. It's a message from an unknown number. You're not safe there. Get out. The screen glitches again. The footage cuts for 3 seconds. When it returns, Meghan is grabbing a bag, stuffing documents and the folder into it. Harry's already on the phone. We need to leave tonight. Tell no one. Kate grabs his arm. You can't. If you disappear like this, they'll spin it against you. They'll paint her as unhinged, paranoid. Meghan snaps. Maybe. I am paranoid, but they are watching. You think it's just media spin? No, it's surveillance. Controlled optics. They will destroy me to protect their crown. The room becomes chaos, raised voices, a flurry of movement, a security guard knocking at the door asking if everything is all right. Kate puts on her calm voice and says, yes, just a small misunderstanding. While Meghan clutches her bump and whispers, they're going to trap us here if we don't leave now. As the guard walks away, Harry finally looks Meghan dead in the eyes. We're leaving tonight. No more second guessing. I'm choosing you. Meghan lets out a shuddered breath, relief and terror battling in her expression. Kate stands awkwardly near the door, conflicted. I never thought it would come to this, she says. Meghan's reply is cold and final. Neither did I, but here we are, fade to black, but the story was just beginning. Opens just hours after that explosive confrontation, with Meghan and Harry frantically preparing to leave the palace under the cover of darkness. The energy is electric, frantic. Meghan's face is pale but set in determination. Harry is moving between rooms, grabbing passports, documents, and essentials. Every footstep echoes with tension, and yet, behind Meghan's strength is an overwhelming wave of anxiety. The message on her phone, "You're not safe there. Get out," replays in her mind like a siren. What had once been her temporary home now feels like a gilded trap. Harry's voice trembles as he whispers, "I called Tyler. He's sending the jet. We leave in 3 hours." Meghan nods silently, then suddenly stops. "We have to tell Doria," she says, "my mom. If she doesn't hear from me, she panic. She needs to know we're okay." Harry hesitates. The line might be tapped. What if they trace it? Meghan holds his hand tightly. "I'll keep it short. Just let me tell her I'm safe, please." He relents, and she dials. Her mother picks up, and Meghan whispers, "Mom, I'm okay. We're leaving tonight. Don't ask anything. Just trust me." Doria's breath hitches on the other end, but she replies, "I love you. Be safe. I'll pray for you both." And the line goes dead. But the palace wasn't sleeping. Somewhere in the East Wing, a security monitor flickered to life, showing the Sussex Wing's hallway activity. A man in a dark suit leaned closer. "She's moving," he muttered. Another screen lit up with Meghan and Harry's movements caught from the hallway camera. An internal alert went off. A shadowy figure pressed a red button. Meanwhile, back in the suite, Meghan looked through the peephole before opening the door. On the other side was Jessica Mulroney, Meghan's longtime friend, flanked by a woman in a headscarf and sunglasses someone Meghan didn't recognize. "They said you'd need help," Jessica said. "This is Farah. She used to work in private intelligence." "She's getting you out." Meghan's eyes widened. "Wait, what?" But Jessica stepped inside. "No time. We don't know how long the blind spot will last. You need to leave now." Harry and Meghan followed Farah down a service stairwell rarely used by staff. The air was cold and stale. Their every footstep was filled with adrenaline. Harry's phone buzzed blocked. Number. He ignored it. Again it buzzed. Meghan looked at him. It could be something. He picked up. A robotic voice said, "Turn back. You're making a mistake." "The baby is safer inside." Harry hung up, face pale. "They know," he whispered. "They know we're leaving." The exit was inside an unmarked side door near the garage. But just as they neared it, two palace guards appeared, blocking the way. "Evening, Your Highness," one said, voice clipped. "We've had reports of suspicious movement. You weren't authorized to leave." Meghan stepped forward. "We're not your prisoners. Move aside." But the guard didn't budge. Harry stepped in. "Let us through, or I'll make this a scandal you can't sweep under the rug." The guard hesitated, exchanged a look with the other, then stepped aside. "We were never here," he muttered. Outside, the black SUV Jessica had arranged waited with tinted windows. As Meghan climbed in, she looked back at the palace one last time, cold, towering, and full of secrets. "I'll never come back here," she whispered. "Not unless it's to expose them." They sped off into the night, escorted by a second car with unknown occupants. Jessica leaned in. "You'll be safe once you're airborne. But until then, keep your heads down." Meghan asked, "Who leaked the footage?" Jessica didn't answer right away. Finally, she said, "Someone close. Very close, but we can't talk here." As they reached the private airfield, Meghan's stomach tightened. They weren't just running. They were making a statement, a pregnant duchess. Fleeing the palace in secret wasn't just a story, it was a war cry. Paparazzi had been tipped off by someone, because as they walked across the tarmac, long-lens cameras clicked in the distance. Meghan pulled her coat tighter, Harry shielding her with his body. "Smile like everything's fine," she whispered. "If they want a shot, give them one they'll never forget." They boarded the jet. Meghan sat by the window. exhaled slowly and whispered to her unborn child, "You're going to be born free." As the jet lifted off, heading for a secure compound in California, back in London, Buckingham Palace was ablaze with phone calls, damage control meetings, and icy silence from the Queen's private chambers. Prince Charles reportedly slammed a folder shut during a crisis meeting. "She's gone, and now she's got proof." If that footage gets out, he didn't finish the sentence. Camilla, watching from the corner, said quietly, "It already has." The leak is in motion. Prince William arrived late, eyes red-rimmed, jaw tight. "Who gave it to her?" he asked. No one answered. Back on the plane, Meghan finally asked, "Jessica, who leaked it?" Jessica looked around and whispered, "It wasn't a who. It was a why. Someone wants this family to implode." "And you're the spark." Meghan's hands trembled. "Then what happens next?" Jessica looked her dead in the eyes. "Next? They'll try to make you disappear publicly or privately. You've started a war." And just like that, the footage didn't just expose betrayal. It ignited a global spectacle. But this was just the calm before the next storm. Begins mid-flight, high above the Atlantic Ocean, where the turbulence inside the private jet had nothing to do with the wind outside. Meghan sat silent, her face turned away from the others, staring blankly into the clouds. Her hands rested gently over her baby bump, but the peace in her expression was gone. Her whole world was unraveling, faster than she could control. Harry paced the aisle in the small cabin, checking his phone, refreshing every signal bar that never seemed to stabilize. Jessica sat near the back, whispering urgently with Farah, who now revealed more about her past role inside palace intelligence than anyone had ever dared to admit. "I worked for them for years," she murmured. "My job was to follow threats, control stories, silence noise, until I realized the noise was coming from within." Meghan turned around, voice thin but sharp. "So you were spying on us?" Farah looked at her without blinking. "Yes, but then I started watching what they were doing to you. That's when I stopped following orders." Harry sat down beside Meghan, the lines on his face deeper than ever before. "We're not going back," he said firmly, "not even for the coronation, not for anything." Meanwhile, in London, the fallout was immediate. The press had caught wind that the Sussexes had left the country in the dead of night, and though no official statement had been made, the tabloids were salivating over the possibilities. But what none of them expected was what came next: an anonymous Dropbox uploaded to a public forum, containing a 40-second clip of the exact moment Meghan confronted Kate. The caption read, "The truth they tried to hide. See for yourself." In the clip, viewers saw Meghan's now infamous quote, "They think I'm a threat because I won't play the game, because I don't fit their mold." The reaction was nuclear. Twitter exploded. TikTokers reposted it with hashtags like #RoyalLeak and #MeghanExposedTheFirm. Fans were shocked, critics split down the middle, and palace officials, they were in panic mode. In an emergency press briefing, the Royal Communications Secretary stammered out a vague statement. "Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex is currently abroad for personal health reasons." The royal family remains committed to unity and discretion at this time, but behind the scenes, unity had crumbled. Prince William stormed into Clarence's house, his voice echoing through the hall. "She recorded us. What else does she have?" Charles, red-faced and exhausted, said she didn't record it. "We did. That's our footage from our cameras." William froze. "Then who leaked it?" Silence. Camilla, sipping tea as if nothing had happened, finally said, "Someone who knows the real cost of silence." William looked around the room. "I want every server swept, every comms team interrogated." This footage doesn't go any further, but it was too late. By dawn, the full footage 13 minutes of Meghan, Harry, and Kate had gone viral in over 30 countries. Headlines screamed palace plot exposed, Meghan's secret war, and inside the royal panic. Back on U.S. soil, Meghan and Harry arrived in Los Angeles, greeted by their private security team and Tyler Perry, who embraced them both like long-lost family. "You're safe now," he said, "but don't think for a second they're gonna stop." Meghan nodded. "They already started. The smear campaign is coming. They'll say I'm unstable, manipulative, delusional." Tyler looked her in the eyes. "Then we beat them to it. We show the world the truth before they rewrite it." That very evening, Meghan sat down with an editor, reviewing the footage she had saved on a secure cloud. More than just the palace confrontation, she had files, emails, text messages, recordings. Every slight, every attack, every time they tried to push her out. "This is the tip of the iceberg," she said. "They made me think I was crazy, but now I see clearly." As Meghan prepared to release more evidence, the palace launched a brutal counteroffensive. Carefully crafted stories began leaking to the press. Royal insiders claimed Meghan was suffering from pregnancy-induced paranoia. Others hinted at mental instability and even suggested a staged escape. But it didn't work. The public wasn't buying it. Meghan's supporters rallied around her, organizing online campaigns, celebrity endorsements, and grassroots movements. Hashtags like #IST and with Meghan and #Palace Secrets began trending worldwide. Oprah issued a subtle but clear tweet: "Truth always finds a way. Always. Inside the palace, all decorum had dissolved." Charles accused William of mismanaging the crisis. William accused Charles of being weak. Camilla, she remained unshaken. In a private conversation with a senior advisor, she said calmly, "This was always going to happen. We just never expected her to fight back like this." The Queen, secluded at Balmoral, issued no public statement. But those close to her said she spent hours in her private chapel, clutching a rosary and whispering prayers for the crown's survival. Then came the real twist. Meghan received an unmarked envelope at her California home. Inside was a USB drive, labeled only with the initials DS on it. A second video footage never seen before. This time, from inside a senior royal's private office. The video showed a strategy meeting between two unnamed royals and a PR firm planning a media ambush on Meghan before she had even spoken to Oprah. "We'll leak the crying story," one voice said. "Make her the aggressor," another voice replied. "What about Harry?" A pause then. "We make him look whipped, controlled, like he's lost his mind." Meghan watched the footage in stunned silence. "They had it planned from day one," she whispered. Harry sat beside her, fists clenched. "Then we expose it all." The footage was time-stamped, verifiable, and damning. Meghan looked into the camera of her private videographer and said, "You want my truth? Here it is. I wasn't running. I was being pushed. And now, I'm pushing back." The war wasn't just personal anymore. It was public, global, historical, and it wasn't even close to over. Because as Meghan and Harry prepared to go fully public, to show the world everything, they received one final message. A simple line in a private email with no sender: "You won't make it to the end of this story. Not both of you." The fear came rushing back. But so did the fire. Meghan looked up at Harry and said, "Then let's write the ending ourselves." And the final battle was just beginning. Begins not with a bang, but with an eerie stillness. In the dimmed California compound where Meghan and Harry now resided, the couple sat in silence, faces washed in blue light from the security monitors surrounding their home. The email threat, "You won't make it to the end of this story. Not both of you," was like a poison slowly seeping into every corner of their calm. Meghan hadn't slept in 36 hours. She stared out the window, as if expecting to see the palace's shadowy hand reaching across oceans. But she wasn't scared anymore. She was done being hunted. It was Harry who finally spoke, his voice raw. "If we stop now, they win everything we've endured. It'll all be for nothing." Meghan nodded, her voice a whisper but filled with steel. "Then we release everything tonight." The final footage was prepared and unedited, hour-long bombshell that combined every piece of evidence Meghan had collected: secret recordings, backroom conversations, surveillance screenshots, and emails from palace staffers trying to contain the optics of Meghan's presence in the family. It included the video of Prince William allegedly instructing a PR advisor to make Meghan cry in the press before she even opens her mouth, and a separate audio clip where Charles referred to her as a storm we never should have invited. But the most shocking piece came at the very end: a video of Queen Elizabeth, clearly distressed, in a closed-door meeting, whispering, "She's not safe here." Not with the others. This family devours anything it doesn't understand. The weight of that final line gave Meghan pause. Even in her grief and anger, she had never wanted war with the Queen. And now, with Her Majesty gone, the family was leaderless and spinning out of control. But across the pond, chaos was erupting. The Royal Communications Office had discovered the upcoming leak thanks to a digital mole inside Meghan's US tech team. The palace immediately launched a smear campaign so brutal, so orchestrated, that even seasoned reporters were stunned. Within 12 hours, headlines began flooding the internet. Sources claim Meghan faked pregnancy for sympathy. Harry under spell, royal doctors express concern. And even Meghan's miscarriage story questioned by former aide. It was vile, it was vicious, and it was exactly what Meghan predicted. But what they didn't anticipate was the world's response. Millions began rallying behind her. Celebrities went live on Instagram to show support. A-list actresses who had stayed silent during Meghan's royal years now spoke out fiercely. "She told us," Viola Davis tweeted, "and now they're proving her right." Serena Williams posted a photo of her and Meghan with the caption, "They underestimated the wrong woman." Ellen Pompeo posted a black square with the words, "#they tried to bury her," followed by "but she was SED." The Sussexes video dropped on a secure livestream, watched by over 38 million people in the first hour alone. Meghan appeared in a simple black blouse, no makeup, hair tied back, eyes swollen but resolute. "I didn't want it to come to this," she said. "But when you're silenced for years, gaslit, and hunted in your own home, you have a choice. You either disappear, or you speak so loudly they can't ignore you." She laid it all out: the emails, the betrayals, the mental health struggles that were ignored, the security that was suddenly revoked when she was most vulnerable. The footage showed tears, rage, fear, but above all, truth. Harry sat beside her, hand in hers, confirming every claim. "I watched them try to destroy her," he said, "just like they did my mother." His voice broke, but this time, "I chose differently. I chose to protect her. And I'll never apologize for that." The internet erupted. It was more than a video. It was a reckoning. As the footage spread globally, something unprecedented happened. Calls for a royal reformation began trending in the UK. Protests broke out in front of Buckingham Palace. Petitioners demanded full investigations. Members of Parliament called for emergency hearings. Even news anchors in traditionally conservative British media began questioning the monarchy's future. Is the crown still credible? One BBC reporter asked live, or has it rotted from within? Back in California, the response was overwhelming. Meghan's team received over 120,000 emails of support within 48 hours. But mixed into the messages were a few more sinister signals. Threats, warnings. One chilling video message simply played a voice saying, "Silence is safety, keep speaking, and you'll vanish too." Meghan was moved to a more secure location, an undisclosed compound with underground bunkers and round-the-clock surveillance. Tyler Perry personally oversaw security upgrades. Oprah, who had been mostly silent through the unfolding chaos, visited privately. "This was your story," she told Meghan, "but now it's everyone's truth." Inside the palace, the walls were metaphorically collapsing. Charles was reportedly hospitalized briefly for a stress-related episode. William refused to appear at public engagements. And Camilla, cornered in a BBC interview, was asked if she believed the monarchy had failed Meghan. She paused, looked into the camera, and said coldly, "No comment." The silence said everything. Then, in the ultimate act of defiance, Meghan received a royal legal notice. A demand to retract the video, a threat of lawsuits, a warning to cease all future disclosures or face criminal charges. Meghan laughed bitterly when she read it. "They're still trying to scare me. Still trying to own my voice." She refused to take it down. Instead, she added a second video, this time reading aloud every line of the legal threat and responding to each allegation one by one. "They can't sue me for telling my story," she said. "They can't arrest me for surviving." Public support only grew stronger. A congressional panel in the U.S. opened an investigation into international surveillance of U.S. residents, Meghan included. Hollywood studios began bidding for the exclusive rights to the Sussexes' full story, and Meghan. She began writing her own memoir, one that, according to insiders, will reveal everything, but the ending of this saga wasn't written yet. One morning, a small envelope was slid under Meghan's door. No stamp, no address. Inside was a single page, typed, "No signature." "You told your story, but not the full truth. The real war hasn't started yet. Be ready." Meghan read it 3 times. Then she folded the paper, placed it in a drawer, and looked at Harry. "They want us scared," she said. "But I'm not scared anymore." Harry kissed her forehead, then let them come. And with that, the camera cut to black. No outro, no warning, no end credits. The footage may have shaken the monarchy, but one thing was now crystal clear. This was no longer about crowns or titles or tradition. This was survival. This was revolution. This was Meghan rewriting history in real time with the whole world watching. And there you have it. The footage that no one was ever supposed to see has been seen by millions. Meghan Markle, once silenced behind palace gates, is now echoing through every corner of the globe. What started as a single leaked clip has become a movement, a reckoning, and perhaps the beginning of the most explosive royal unraveling in modern history. From whispered betrayals in the palace halls to a midnight escape under threat, from hushed warnings to viral truths, this isn't just scandal, it's survival. The royal family's reputation has never faced fire like this before. And yet, the biggest question remains: what happens next? Will Meghan reveal more footage? Who slipped her that final anonymous note warning of a real war still to come? Will the monarchy retaliate with lawsuits or silencing tactics? And what price will Meghan and Harry pay for standing against one of the world's most protected institutions? One thing is certain: the game has changed forever. And Meghan's no longer playing by their rules. Now we want to hear from you. Was Meghan right to leak the footage? Is the monarchy collapsing under the weight of its own secrets? Or is there more to this story than any of us can yet see? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We read every single one. Be part of this conversation. Like this video if you believe in truth over tradition. Subscribe for more shocking revelations, behind-the-scenes breakdowns, and exclusive updates as this story continues to unfold. And remember, this isn't just gossip. This is history in the making. We'll be watching, and so are they. Click subscribe, hit that bell, and stay ready because the next chapter is coming.